welcome to the spring semester and welcome to Cardio Circuit. So my name is Coach Nash and I'm excited to start the semester with you and guide you through some great workouts weekly. And today is a fitness test that we're going to go ahead and do together. So it's our only workout this week. And so what I just like to see is that you give your best, right? Some of you may not have, been involved in any fitness for a while, and so this is a true test of, where you are at this time in your life, and so it's just a good gauge to see where we can go from here. So obviously we want to progress and we want to move up and get better and improve, so this is a good place to start. There is this video for you to follow along with me. And then there's the fitness test form that you're going to go ahead and put your results in once you're done with this video, okay? So while you're going through this video, you're going to want to log your results somewhere. So either a piece of paper with a pencil or maybe on your phone, you can log your results. And what I'll do is I'll announce what the name of the test is, the name of the exercise, and then you can write down your results, and then you can go back later and transfer all of those results into the actual form on Canvas, okay? So today there's gonna be some stop or pausing of the video, you doing, your work and putting your results in, and then restarting or pressing play to start up again with me. I'm gonna just simply demonstrate the exercises so you know what you're doing, okay? So the first exercise, the first test is your resting heart rate. So at the top, obviously, you're going to put your name, and then I don't know what else the other information was. I think it's it might be your height and your weight and your age, right? But the first test is the resting heart rate. So we're going to answer all the number ones in the first column. So there's 3 separate columns. We're not doing all 3 today. We're just doing everything one time, and you're putting all your results in the first column under the number ones. Okay, so resting heart rate. So you're going to want to find your pulse, and you can find your pulse right now. So either in your carotid artery area, in the throat area, you can try and find. So make sure you have your index and your middle finger together. You're just going to slightly press underneath that jawbone into your throat area. And you should be able to find it there. Maybe move the fingers around a little bit to find it. And then you can also go to your radial artery, which is right down the center, just off center of your wrist there. You should be able to press and find your pulse there as well, okay? Might be another spot that you can easily find. It's up to you. But what you're gonna do is you're gonna count this pulse for 60 seconds before we get started with any kind of activity, okay? So you're gonna go ahead and start your clock and start your counting, and then at 60 seconds, you'll stop counting and you'll write your result down for your resting heart rate, and then we'll get started on the next one, which is a warm-up, okay? So go ahead and pause the video, get your resting heart rate pulse, write down your number, and then press play and come on back. All right, so you have your resting heart rate logged under the first number 1. We're gonna go ahead and just get started with a really easy warm-up before we get testing, okay? So we're gonna go ahead and just start to lift the knees and pull the knees nice and slow up towards your chest. Just start to warm up those hips. And then go ahead and start moving a little bit quicker. All right, and then we're going to do some arm swings across the chest, back and forth. And then some body swings. Arms are up, and then into a deep squat, throw the arms back and up. Just a little more dynamic, getting that back involved. Quads and glutes and arms involved. Good. And we're going to do some hip rotation. So bring this knee back and then forward. So bent knee back, and bend knee forward. So this class, all you really need is space, right? To watch the video. So we're gonna switch legs. You'll notice I have a mat, and I'm gonna use that for my core workouts, my abdominal workouts, so you might wanna have a space with a mat or maybe carpet or a rug nearby. All right, so now we're gonna lunge, and we're gonna bring our hands down, and we're gonna open away from the legs, and then to the other side. All right, and switch legs, open away, and other side. And then back up. We're gonna kind of roll up onto the toes and then back on the heels. So maybe a mat if you have it. Dumbbells, I might use some dumbbells. So if you have dumbbells, you don't have to go out and buy them, but if you have them, use dumbbells. Obviously water bottle is good, but just really just space. I mean, I'm here in the middle of my house, right? And we're gonna push this leg back and the heel down, hips down. Yeah, space and time. The workouts will never go over an hour 10, you know. They average just about an hour, under an hour. Switch legs, and we do that two times a week. So that's pretty much it. You want good active shoes and just obviously, you know, workout attire. All right? Okay, so the first exercise is we're testing our upper body strength. So we're gonna do what's called a shoulder tap push-up. It's modified or traditional. So if you know that you can't do a push-up with your knees off the mat, you're going to put modified, okay? If you can do a push-up with your knees off the mat, you're gonna do a traditional. I'm gonna show you both. So it's a shoulder tap push-up, and this is for 1 minute max, so that you're going to keep count of how many you do in 1 minute, okay? Continuous. So the shoulder tap, modified, you're gonna bring your hands right outside your chest, leading your shoulders. Your hips are down. And I'm gonna tap my opposite shoulder, tap my opposite shoulder, and then do a push-up. And my whole trunk comes down, okay? So I'm just bending my elbows to do that. So that would be 1, 2, and so on, okay? For a traditional, knees are off the mat, shoulder taps, push-ups, continuous until I stop. So make sure you keep count. So choose which one you want to do, modified or traditional. Write that down, and then start a timer. Look at a clock or your phone. Start it for a minute. Do as many as you can. Keep track. Write the number down when the timer's up. So pause the video, do that, and then come on back. Okay, so you just got done doing your shoulder tap push-ups, and we're going to move into the lower body strength test. And so that is a squat, lunge, lunge combination. So this is a max number until you stop. So there's no time limit, but I mean, obviously you want to be able to show some progress and improvement, so you don't want to do so many that you can't walk afterwards, but you're going to do as many as you can without stopping, so you're keeping count of how many you do. So I'm going to demonstrate what you're doing, and then you're going to pause the video and do your work, write down your result, and then come on back. So the combination is this: a squat, lunge, lunge. So when you do a squat, just make sure that your feet are just a nice wide set. I like to say it's right outside my hips, that my feet are facing forward. And I'm going to bend my knees so that my butt sits back and my heels stay down when I squat. So it's a squat, and then it's a lunge, and then a switch the legs, lunge. So it looks like this in real time. Squat, 1, 2. So I'm going to go as long as I can, keeping count, okay? So you're counting the full combination workout, the squat and the lunge is 1. All right, go ahead and do your work and come on back. All right, yeah, so you just did your lower body strength. We're gonna do our abdominal strength. So go ahead and come on down to the floor or your mat or a rug, or just on the floor is fine. So we're gonna do what's called a surrender. So you do need a clock or a timer to see how long you can hold this position. You can count for yourself in your head if you'd like. The surrender, we're testing our stamina. So how long we can hold this position. It's abdominal strength, but it's also hip strength. So I like to call it core strength, but it's not too much of the back. It's more abdominal and your hips, okay? So I'm gonna demonstrate what you're doing. It's a surrender. And that simply means that I'm going to lift my head and my shoulders up off the mat, and I'm going to lift my legs so that they're above my hips, and I'm going to extend my arms out with my palms up, and I'm going to hold this position for as long as I can, breathing while I'm holding it. Keep your legs out, keep your arms out, keep your chin down, and you're starting the time once your legs are elevated, and then you're stopping when you're done. You're gonna write that time down, and then you're gonna come on back. All right, you guys, so you just finished your abdominal strength test. We're gonna go into a core, so it's more back and shoulders, okay, here for our next test. So these are called up downs, and this up down is 1 minute timed, and you're going to keep count of how many you complete in the 1 minute, okay? So I'm going to demonstrate what the exercise is, and then you're going to time yourself for a minute, and then keep count, and then write down your result when you're done. So it's an up down. So it's a plank in low position, that means on your elbows, with your knees off the mat. Your back is flat, okay? And from here, when the clock starts, you're going to come up into high plank, which on your hands, and then come down into low plank. That's 1. And then up and down, that's 2. 3. Okay, and so you're just doing as many as you can. If you have to modify and you can't keep your knees up off the mat, you can do a modified. Keep your hips down, and then it's the same thing, okay? All right, go ahead and pause the video, do your work, put your result down, and then come on back. All right, so now we have our cardio test, and so this is an exercise where we do two moves in one. So we're gonna do a jumping jack, and then we're gonna do a plank step back. I'm going to demonstrate. This is for 1 minute. There's no counting of how many you do. What we're doing is we are checking our heart rate after the minute. So I'm going to do this with you. So we're going to do the work as much as we can, as fast as we can, with as much intensity and energy as we can for 1 minute straight without stopping. And then when I say find your pulse, you're going to find your pulse. Shouldn't be hard to find. Then I'm going to say count, and we're going to count that pulse for 10 seconds, okay? You're going to write that number down, and then at about 50 seconds later, we're going to do a recovery heart rate. So I'm going to ask you to find your pulse again, and then that's going to be your recovery heart rate for 10 seconds, okay? All right, so this is what the exercise looks like. So we're going to do a jumping jack. We all know what a jumping jack is, right? And then it's a plank step back. So I bring my hands down and then I step back, step forward, stand up, okay? So real time it looks like this. Okay, we're gonna do this for 1 minute as fast as we can. If you prefer to just kick your feet back rather than stepping back, totally fine. We're just trying to get that heart rate up nice and high, okay? So we're gonna do this together for 1 minute. Remember, you're not keeping count, you're just gonna go as fast as you can. Then when I say stop, you're gonna find your pulse. All right, ready? Go. Stop, find your pulse, ready? Count. Stop, write that down. So I got 23, so I'm gonna write 23 under cardio test heart rate. Woo. And then we're gonna go in about 30 seconds or so, we're gonna find our recovery heart rate. So what happens to our pulse post-exercise within a minute? So hopefully your heart rate got really high. All right, ready? We're gonna find our pulse. Ready? Count. Stop. So you're gonna write that number. Mine was 14, so it dropped significantly. I'm gonna put 14 under recovery heart rate for my 10-second heart rate, okay? All right, so the next part of the fitness test are the healthy habit questions. So I'm gonna talk it through with you and you can write down your result or your answer, right? The first one is how many days per week, and that's excluding this class, meaning before you started the semester, have you participate or do you participate in cardio physical activity? So for at least 30 minutes. And that just means that for at least 30 minutes, you are elevating that heart rate, you're sustaining that heart rate, right? For 30 minutes, that elevated heart rate. So how many days per week? Write down your answer, excluding this class, which is 2 days. And then the next question is, how many days per week, excluding this class, do you participate in resistance training or strength training? Okay, and that resistance training can be body weight exercises, it could be band workouts, it can be medicine ball, it can be lifting with, you know, strength equipment. How many days? And then the next one is on a scale 1 to 10, 1 being the least fit and 10 being your most fit. So this is obviously subjective to you, right? Where do you rate your current fitness health? So this is fitness health. On a scale from 1 to 10, where are you currently? Where do you rate yourself, okay? And then the next one is your nutritional health on a scale from 1 to 10. 1 being the least healthy, as far as nutritional health, and then 10 being really, really healthy, like the healthiest you've ever eaten and drank. So, and then the next question is, what do you consider to be optimal health? So you'll write down what you consider optimal health to be, a description, right? Definition of from your heart, right? What you consider it to be. And then the last is personal goals. So, I want you to be thoughtful about putting down some personal goals you'll have for the semester for this class. Consider the time that we put in, which is only 2 days per week. Consider the semester, the length of time of the class, 16 weeks. Be realistic about what you think that you can accomplish. You may want to make it time related, so by the mid-semester, I would like to improve upon, and then just be very specific. So don't just say, I want to lose 15 pounds or I want to be stronger. That's not real specific. We want to be able to demonstrate the improvements somehow and be able to see that. So, put some numbers to your goals, put some time to your goals, be very specific, okay? And that's it. And then, so what you're going to do is you're going to take all of these results that you wrote down or you put in your phone, and you're going to transfer it over to your fitness test form, which you've downloaded to your computer. You're going to input your numbers all on the number 1 column, fill out the form, and then you're going to save the form and then submit it back to me. And so you'll want to have that submitted back to me by Sunday night by 11:55 p.m. Okay, and that's how you receive your credit for the week, is from the fitness